Hello amazing humans, welcome back to my channel, Just Keep Sanding. Today I want to bring you a dresser I redid a couple of months ago. It was actually my first time attempting a pottery bar finish, but I wanted to keep it under budget, so I didn't buy any product except for the 4-inch brush. So let's get to it. I got this open hard sears dresser from my local Buy Nothing group. The person who was gifting it got it from a thrift store a few years ago and had it sitting in their garage. This person makes the most amazing cactus and succulent art, and as well, they grow them. It was a blast meeting them. I was very transparent with the person that gifted it to me about what I was planning to do with it because I didn't want to interfere with the Buy Nothing project principles. Alright, now that we're on the topic of Buy Nothing, I don't know if you know it, but it's an international gifting network that operates locally, mainly on Facebook group, on the app, and people can just post what they are giving away, and you can make it fun and put, I don't know, say, oh, whoever guesses my son's favorite ice cream can get these Ray-Ban sunglasses, or like I gifted it some plant cuttings of a plant that I got a couple of years ago, and I just ask like, what is the best thing you ever got from Buy Nothing, and everybody that commented were sharing their stories, and I just chose one and I give them some cuttings, which actually I gave cuttings to absolutely everyone that commented there, because cuttings are just cuttings of plant. You can just grow more. Okay, let's refocus. When I saw the details on this dresser, I really wanted to strip it down, but I wasn't sure it was going to look good because of all the holes. After watching for years Shannon from Black Sheep House doing the Pottery barn inspiration finish, I decided to try it myself. But I wanted to use what I had, no osteopalize. The only thing I needed for sure was the broom and the 4-inch brush, so I got those two. This dresser was actually solid wood, except for the top that was a very thick veneer over a very thick MDF as well. But everything else was solid wood. The base, the drawer fronts, the sides was plywood, everything was solid. First thing we needed to do was remove that base. I thought that thing was going to be super heavy because it was almost 2 inches thick, but it wasn't heavy. Also, for a second, I thought about removing like 1 inch from the top. I am really glad I didn't went for it. I usually remove the base or I cut things before I start to clean. Why? I don't know. I guess I get anxious and I just want to see things how they might look at the end. After that, I gave it a deep clean and removed the drawers too, because those tracks were grease and there was a lot of residue on each side. To be able to attach the legs to this dresser, I needed to reinforce the base with some boards, and after that it was sturdy. So I scuff sanded because I was going to paint, so just scuff sanded was needed. Alright, it's time for the fun part. As I said before, I was going to be on a budget. So I used all products that I already had. This finish is usually done with glaze, but I didn't have any. The big hardware stores didn't have any neither, and the whole can online was $25. I understand that I will be using just a bit, but I still have to buy it. So I decided to use the stain and Pauline combo by Rust-Oleum that I got on clearance for $6 a long time ago. And honestly, I haven't yet cracked the code on how to use it properly, but I used it on this dresser base that had a light color on the bottom, and I applied this on the top and gave it a brushed effect, so I commit myself to make this whole piece the same way. So to be able to start, I needed to apply primer first, and I used the Kilz, the blue one, that is the water-based formula, and the equivalent will be the Zinsser 123. That is also water-based. I did 2 coats of that. Well, I'm not sure if the separation of the color is now or later, but I applied 2 coats of this beige I had at home that I bought in the Oops section in Home Depot for $2, making sure that paint was getting in all the crevices, and it had way too many. I didn't care much about the brush marks or texture on this because it was going to be covered, so I also didn't sand in between. Yes, Watch Me Fail is the name of the chapter of the next couple of minutes. I grabbed that 4-inch brush, I dipped it in the poly and stain mix, and I started to brush. And yeah, that looked like it was going well, but it really wasn't. I realized by trial and error that because the poly and stain combo was drying too fast, I needed to water down a little bit. And I am sure you agree by looking at these drawers. So after that failed attempt that I wiped down with water and started over, I realized that the best way was going to be misting the surface with water and then apply the poly, always in downward motions. That way, I was going to be creating lighter coats. The great thing about this product is that as it's water-based, it kind of dries fast, so I didn't have to, well, that's a pro and a con all at once, but I didn't have to wait forever for it to dry. I did this many times. So it's applying the stain with the 4-inch brush, and before it completely dry, I pass with the broom to separate the stain a little to create that brush look that it's so attractive on the Sausalito finish. Yes, Sausalito is a light color, and this is early American. I don't think it will be light. I was always reminding myself while doing this that this is a building process, you're testing this, you're fine, and I make fun of how many coats I did, but I might have done between 4 and 6. The good thing about this product is that you don't need to top coat because this is already a poly included in the stain, but I wanted it darker, so we're gonna have to add some details. To add darkness, I did 1 coat of walnut gel stain first, like if you was like applying raw wood, exactly the same way. And the next day, I dried brush with that same brush that you're looking at right now. That is the one that I used to apply the gel stain the day before. And it was hard, and you might have poked an eye with it, but the bristles were perfect for me to be able to make like little marks that look like wood grain. So I had to wait 24 hours in between coats of gel stain, and after that I waited 72 hours to apply another coat of stain and poly that I used before, more uniform to even out all the colors, and then I added just regular top coat. I could have just finished with the stain and poly without adding any gel stain, but I wanted to have like some darker marks. I also added this trim on the bottom to cover the part where I chopped off the base. In here you will see me doing the exact same process with the legs. These legs are solid wood. I got them at a garage sale. I can't remember, like maybe 6 months before this, and they were perfect. I paid $5 for the 4 of them. Yeah, I know, I am like actually cringing seeing myself doing this, like the way I'm doing it, but don't worry. I swear I fixed my problem, or my execution problem, and I actually am very proud I was wearing gloves. I usually forget. Ha! You see? I told you I was gonna fix this. Wait, I'm not gonna say anything. Just watch. You all saw it. That was fast. Can you explain me why I didn't do that from the very beginning? Like on the first 1500 coats of stain and poly and then gel stain. Okay, before we go any further, can I give you an eco-friendly tip for the day? Well, I'm so glad this is a one-way conversation. Imagine if you would have said no. Whew! There is no need to use brand new clean zipper bags to store your hardware. I mean, it's already dirty, right? And you don't need these food grades perfectly clean to store them. So I use any random bag I have at home. These ones are the one from the tortillas, but I also have a bunch of other bags that I keep on reusing. Most of the times, we get the paint orders in these type of bags too. So leave the good ones for the food and save money and the planet while you're at it. So now that we're in the topic of hardware, I consider this step to be sustainable as well, as I will be reusing the same outdated hardware. It is very simple to remove the back of these bat wings. Some remove it with a tap of a hammer. I tried it, but it actually didn't work, so I just cut it with the wire cutters. I bend it and it comes right off, the way you can see it in the video. To clean the hardware, I boil them in water with 2 to 3 tablespoons of baking soda and give them a scrub with Bar Skipper's Friend. Many others refinishers use other methods like vinegar, or some just scrub it, or even I've seen people using CLR. But it's just about what works for you. None of the other methods are bad, they just different processes, and for me, this works best for price and for time. So it's just what works for you. So after all that cleaning, I tested to see if I liked it. Alright, are you ready for the final reveal? I hope I didn't miss any step. I know it might not be 100% budget friendly if you don't have the products, but considering I'm always using OOPS and I'm reusing the same hardware and I reuse all products I already have, I consider this very budget friendly for me. So just some things to have in mind when doing this, like for example on the doors or here on the drawer fronts, the grain will go in different directions, so I had to tape those parts so I didn't brush over and there was overlay. I also didn't change the drawer liner. I thought it was very pretty and I loved it. The door was the hardest part to do or to achieve the brush look, and I really like it. It's very dark, walnutty, and I love the way it turned out, and it sold super fast. Fun fact, I recently found the same dresser here in my neighborhood, also got it for free, and it's just a little bit bigger, so I was thinking on trying to do the same, but this time apply from the very beginning what I learned. So stick around, I'll most likely do a video about that. If you made it this far, you know that you live in my heart forever and ever. And if you like to subscribe or like or comment or share it to someone, I'll be forever grateful to you as well. I'll link all the products I use on the comment section, and you have my social media if you want to follow around. See you in the next video.